So yeah, she is a bloodlord. Tell me some impressions of what you think you're going to see.
The moment we open the doors, an organ starts playing on its own, and she comes out flying, cackling.
That's Strahd.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're expecting female Strahd.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
I thought session 0 we would be deciding on the campaign and then doing our characters together, but people just kind of took off by themselves.
Well, duh.
I've been excited for the Bloodlords campaign since I heard it was going to happen, because I always found Geb to be an interesting little bit of Galarian. Also, I just like undead stuff.
There certainly are a lot of undead. There's a big storyline that ties into it too that I don't want to spoil too much.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jesus!
Hey.
This is Faz. He's our new player.
Ahoy hoy.
Hello. I was going to be playing a wizard. Which that was a journey trying to figure out which type of wizard I wanted to be. Because initially I was thinking Familiar Master, and then I thought, well, if I want to focus on Animate Dead, that's not really good for action economy.
Don't worry too much about action economy and things like that. Play the character you want to play.
Well, that's the thing, is I was kind of attached to part of the character concept, but I don't need to be a Familiar Master for that. I don't need to actually have a mechanical version of, like, I'll get into it in a bit. But there's also, honestly, they all looked kind of fun, so I think I settled on Staff Nexus, or whichever that version is called, just the Staff Wizard.
Yeah, it's interesting for wizards when you like your subclass is both the decision of style and what school.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Good evening.
Your character frightens me.
No, this adventure just says don't play a druid.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. We'll get into that.
I'm not surprised.
You're gonna find out immediately why.
And also don't play good cleric.
I gave this reason, the same reason in Empire of Ghouls, about what they do to druids. Hello, Lander.
Hi.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I figured from what bits I know about Geb, druids would basically just sit there crying all day anyways, because of what they do to the land.
Nope. Actually, the druids would kind of like what they do to the land, just not the means of how it gets done.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, pseudo-terraforming for mass agriculture instead of what's supposed to grow there might still irk druids, depending.
Well, that's the best part. The wastes don't grow anything otherwise. Don't worry, I'll show you a map.
Nature says the way it's supposed to be. I don't know, but it's that's what I mean. Like you could thematic that like this isn't supposed to be here. It's just supposed to be what nature says.
Well, that's Ghost King, Archmage, Lich Queen, bleh.
Say so, yeah. I don't know. I get that. That's what I mean. Hence Druid. Just like, I can't remember what the hell the ad was way the hell back for. It was from landfills, like the native guy crying.
Yeah, I remember that commercial. That got used a lot, even in The Simpsons.
Yeah, even The Simpsons use that. So I was just picture like the druid like seeing like the mass agriculture change and like nope, I'm out. See ya.
It's actually a very nice country.
Oh, depending upon
for the dead.
Your pulse.
Nope.
Yeah. For the quick, less so.
The living like living there too because they get money.
Yeah, and as long as you don't die without having your affairs in order,
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah, I was tempted to go with the tax collectors one, but since you're going that way for your character, I'm like, no, I'll go with my other background choice. I went with the builders.
I'm basically forced to do reanimators. By force, I mean I'm not, but there is.
It
it's the
lines
best
up
fit.
too well. How could you not?
Yeah.
Here we are. How to raise the dead.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Nice.
So, now that we're all together, why don't we begin? So, let me take you over here and show you what home looks like, right?
All right.
It's a nice enough place, isn't it?
Yeah.
Little sepia tone, but otherwise looks fine.
Take a moment to look around the gray wastes.
I like
As-
the specific lack of any flora.
So,
Except
there
for
is...
that one little.
Dead bush.
It's corporate identity.
It's right here. Don't worry. Your boss has everything well in hand. Because you work for one of the best bloodlords ever to grace the court of Geb and serve the Ghost King.
Is it Skeletor?
It is not Skeletor, no.
I feel like I've been robbed.
So, you're going to be blown away that it is a living person who is this bloodlord. This person who controls the agriculture of Geb is alive and well, and she thinks very highly of the undead citizens. She treats people equally, and she has employed you to help her.
All right.
Her name is Berlin Haldoli.
It is who I thought.
Mm-hmm. So, whom of you that have thought about your characters are comfortable introducing them? Or at least the vague overview of them?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to play Lex. Yeah, he was a human once, probably.
Maybe.
And he worked for the tax collector guys. He was quite happy with that. He really enjoyed all the regulation stuff. And, you know, he collected a little bit for himself on the side. You know, what everyone needs, a little bit of a fund.
Are you sure this is legal? I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
To at some point actually be an undead person which can do more than harvest the fields. So he decided to, well, become a ghost because that seemed to be the most useful stuff, to be in contact with the law and stuff, and to work with the regulations and to float towards massive bookshelves about law and to read stuff a long time and to devour any kind of regulation. Yeah. And so he became a ghost. It was excruciating, positively. But right now he's in a very good position to serve not only the tax code.
That's terrifying.
Okay, Marge, if anyone asks, you require 24-hour nursing care. Lisa's a clergyman, Maggie has 7 people, and Bart was wounded in Vietnam.
Cool!
So, my character Ren was an elf. He was all happy and young and ran off at a ripe age of like 22 to join the revolution in Galt.
Which one?
Yeah, the first one.
Oh,
He stayed
dear.
there for 70 years. So he went through Revolutionary Council after Revolutionary Council after Revolutionary Council. So first he was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, I want to change things. Now it's, these guys all suck, fuck it. He left, and like within a week was killed by a ghoul and came back. And he was positively aghast at the result.
He
Eventually made his way to Absalom, because, that's actually where he died after being bitten. Hung out there for a while, and then once he figured himself out, made his way to Geb, because it's somewhere he could live without being hunted for being an unholy monster every second of the day. And he's been here for 10 years now.
It's very bold of you to be a revolutionary in the midst of such a lawful community.
He was a revolutionary. That idea has been buried long, long ago now. Now it's, I can get by and I can make money. I don't care who's doing what. I've got mine.
That is the attitude of the nation, yes.
He may have once been a follower of Milani, goddess of revolution. Now he's a much more selfish one.
But like I always say, your supreme selfishness is our game.
My character's name is Risu, and Risu was particularly wanting. He used to be a barkeep, and all the adventurers would come in with shiny new items and leave these precious shiny new items behind sometimes, as you know, they're adventurers, so they're stupid sometimes, and they don't particularly value some things. So he would take them, then they would become his possessions. So he so glaringly wanted to become an adventurer. After a while, he did, and one thing led to another. He ended up being on the Shadow Plane and living on Shadow Absalon. And the energies in Shadow Absalon and Shadow, the Shadow Plane changed him into a fletchling. After some time, he got tired of living in Shadow Absalon, of being very close to dying and living next to these very weird people, these weird demon-like creatures that would torture him. So he came back to, the material plane, and came to Geb because, it was closest thing to that area and also the farthest thing from it. So now he's here, searching for new items. Also, he has a hawk.
He has a hawk, okay.
Character is not originally from Geb. His name is Gerloff. He came from not Absalom, but nearby. His family was actually a long time ago more of a noble family, but they were disgraced for dealing with certain types of magic that you might be able to guess. He grew up in a mining town, and one day there was a cave-in in which he lost his father, alongside most of the children of that village. And it was a strange time, stranger still when his aunt came by, who still kept up the family business, and while the villagers cowered because a strange woman is coming to town with an entourage of the undead, she ordered them to basically clear out the mine and actually recovered all of the bodies of the villagers, including her brother, and just didn't really bury them there, but just laid them out in front of the mine, like, here you go. And that fascinated him, of seeing something that he had heard could only be evil used for something that was a good action. And so he ran off to find his aunt, live with her, and train under her for a time, which was unfortunately cut short when, he had some people here. There's some lady out in the woods in a tower with some magic stuff, and she's considered evil due to undead magic, which I'm not to say she was the best person, but she was not the typical necromancer. They came by, basically raised it, though he managed to survive, and taking what he could, he made way to the only country he knew would not give him any guff for what he practices, and aligns closest to his ideals of the undead are something that can be used as a tool to benefit the living, though of course Geb has some other parts of it that don't quite match what he wants. He has a goal of potentially trying to move it more towards what he wants, though he is not like a revolutionary. He's not like, I'm gonna do it in a human lifetime. No, that cannot be done. So he's gonna find a way to give himself more time. But for now, human.
Humans think they own everything. Probably American.
It's good so far. You guys have obviously thought about this a lot more than I thought you would. I was expecting, like, really raw ideas, or us to at least discuss, like, what campaign we were going to play, but this seemed to be unanimous.
So, my character is a puppet bard, Tatterstraw. Tatterstraw was made by, insert a witch here. But over years of, complete objective slavery, as the witch would see Tatterstraw nothing but a object, like a unseen servant type of deal. Tatterstraw grew to find power in his music and joy, and stand up to the witch, for which Tatterstraw got banished to the Shadow Realm.
Oh no.
Yes, and there seemed to be no escape for the little puppet until a very peculiar person needed mental support, and Tatterstraw adopted a new master as a little certified emotional support companion. Tatterstraw just wants everybody to be okay. It's just, I sense emotional damage, I must help.
Emotional damage!
There will be a lot of emotional damage in this campaign.
My work
Probably
is cut out.
cause a lot of emotional damage.
Yeah, I deal emotional damage. Is that right?
The King of Geb is known for having immense emotional damage.